So we're going to begin this morning's practice on this very crisp, well, if you're in New Jersey, very crisp New York, New Jersey area, Saturday. It's our least favorite holiday, Halloween. So I did dress up. I'm just wearing black. Anyways, you're going to start this morning on your back with your feet wide, and I'll demonstrate in a second. So your feet go the width of the mat. I love this for just neutralizing the pelvis and letting your knees come together. So it's like making a mountain with your knees. So feet super wide and knees knocked together. Feel your feet. So you want to feel the outer blades of your feet and you want to feel the arches of your feet, and then let your knees just drop, turn the palms open, relax the shoulders, close your eyes for a second, or just pick a drishti, something to focus on the ceiling. And then just feel the natural rise and fall of the belly. And just kind of ground yourself here in this moment as you begin to show up to the practice, however that's going to look for you this morning. And then begin a artful breath. Inhale through your nose to the back of your throat, and continue your exhale also through your nose to the back of the throat. And as you pay attention to the flow of this breath, see if you can make the inhale powerful and the exhale even more deeper, so that way you can link the next breath. And sometimes our attention is heavily focused on the breath, and sometimes it's focused on other things, because that's just how life is. Take your feet almost to hip width distance now. So hip width distance, ground the feet. Draw the fingertips to the backs of the heels, just so you know that your feet are close enough to you. Keeping your feet down for a moment, lower back down. You're gonna scoop yourself up, shoulder blades lift, and the hands slide right now next to the side of the body. So just lift up. So what you should feel here is your lower back most definitely down, your feet rooted into the mat, and your lower belly scooping up. So there's a lot of your upper shoulder blades. You wanna get them lifted. Now, as you drive up towards the ceiling, try not to drive with your neck. Drive up, anchor your feet, and lift through your core, and I'd recommend looking up. Keep the lift of those upper shoulder blades. Keep reaching your arms forward. Lift your legs on an angle that work. Mine are gonna go about halfway. If your lower back is more sensitive, all the way up is totally fine. If you're looking for more intensity, lower down. So find something that works, but you're holding. And keep the lift of the upper shoulder blades, keep looking up. Drive the arms forward more. Rebend the legs, take the feet back to the ground. Lift a little higher. Exhale the breath, let yourself go. We'll do this a few times to get ourselves warm. Pull yourself up, but we're gonna do it slow so you can really feel how wonderful it is. Lift your legs on an angle, pause. Any angle that works for you. Lower your feet back down, lift higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Lift on the exhale breath if you can. Start to pay attention to little things. Lift your legs on an angle that works for you. Keep drawing up and forward. Rebend the legs, take the feet back down. Lift higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Again, pull yourself up. These kind of creep up on you. Lift your legs on an angle. Pause. Rebend the legs, lift higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. One more, a little fancier if you care to join. Pull yourself up. Lift your legs on an angle. Pause here, stay here, or begin to lower your heels and tap them down to the ground. Lift them back up on that angle. Pause. Rebend the legs. Lift higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Hug your knees to your chest, give them a little squeeze, feel kind of a spreading of your lower back, and then just get some momentum. Cross the spine, cross your ankles, step to your downward facing dog this morning. And if you have a dog, they'll probably be doing it alongside of you. Have your hands nice and wide, index fingers are forward. Take up a lot of space this morning on your mat. Yeah, let your head hang soft. Yes, all the pups come into the picture. Okay, movement of your shoulders is away from your spine, and that's really hard to cue from here, but see what we can find. And what I mean by that is rather than feeling like your shoulders are crunching down and you're dumping all your weight down into your arms, feel like you're moving your shoulders away. So grip your outer arms in and use as much strength through your arms as your legs. Lift your hips as high up off your shoulders as you possibly can this morning. And you may have a lot of space from your heels to the floor, or they may be a little closer. Wherever they are, don't force anything. Let your body just be and observe. Plug down to get a little bit more space, a little bit more energy. And what I also love to do is spread my toes across the mat, like almost lift them up. Feel the padded part of the foot press down. And then see with that energy if you can get a little bit more of a stretch through the shins. Good. Stay with your breath a few more here. Keep breathing those hips up off the shoulders though. That's going to get you to kind of spread your lower back a little wider and get you to feel the back side of your legs beginning to activate. Let's roll forward together into a plank, our favorite posture. I'm being sarcastic. Stack yourself up here. It's just yoga. Let's not take ourselves so seriously today. We'll take ourselves lightly. Stack the shoulders over elbows. Someone is making pancakes in my house. Talk about a distraction. That's what I'm smelling right now. Your gaze is forward, just a little, and you're aligned nicely. Listen, if you get here and you're like, this kind of sucks for me this morning, I'm not into putting this much effort in, drop your knees and give yourself a break. It's A-okay. Draw your belly in, lift your thighs, your collarbone, broaden across your chest. Feel spreading of the upper shoulder blades. And stay with your breath, with the feeling that you're creating right here. Run a little bit more energy from your heels to the crown of the head and hold. Inhale your breath, exhale your breath. Good. Keep your body like this without too much movement. Walk your right hand to the front edge of your mat. So your right hand is way out in front of you. It's like a wider position. Yeah. Let your left hand meet the front edge of your mat. So I'm in this wide kind of plank position. So my shoulders are no longer underneath my wrists. My wrists are forward. Hold here. Lengthen your tailbone, contract the thighs. If it's too much, you drop your knees. I'm pretty much taking up all the space in my mat. Hang with this. Contract the thighs, roll more weight forward onto your tippy toes. Walk your left hand directly underneath your left shoulder. Do it slow. Take your right hand directly underneath your right shoulder. Drop your knees if you need support. Bend your elbows in half to a chaturanga. Re-straighten your arms to a plank position. Yes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Do it slow. Separate your feet a little tiny bit wider. Reach your arms straight back. I'll turn so you can see what exactly I'm doing. You're going to reach straight back. Slide your right hand from behind in front of your left shin. Slide your left hand from behind in front of your right shin. So you're reaching from behind your ankles and crossing at your wrists. Pull up on the front of the shins. Let the head go. Bend your knees as much as you need this morning. And breathe into the back side of your legs. Use that energy as your hands slide up the front of the shins. Move more weight into the balls of your feet. Let your head just drop. Notice if you're holding it. Draw your navel in, coil your ribs up a little bit more, and fold a little deeper. Unravel your hands, walk them directly underneath your shoulders. Keep your feet as plugged into the mat as you can here. They may start to lift up, but start to walk yourself back to your downward facing dog. And then you notice a little different, or maybe not different at all. Once again, we'll roll forward to a plank position, stack the body, align nicely. Look forward with your eyes a tiny bit. Modify if you need, bend your elbows in half, chaturanga. This time, pull the heart and the chest through for an up dog. And if you're not digging up dog, baby cobra, or you can skip. From your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Look to the top of the mat. Take a big step with your right foot to get your right foot all the way up there. Come to the fingertips. Feel the strength of your back left leg. And then see if you can kind of swing your left foot forward. Feet can be a little separated this morning. Long spine on the inhale. Most definitely keep that weight forward, or hands on your shins works great. Exhale, fold over yourself. Root to rise. Come all the way up. Hands to prayer at heart. You can keep your feet separated this morning. You can slide them together. It's up to you. You can play with little things in the practice. Reach the arms up. Look up with your eyes. Dive over bent knees. You always come down with bent knees, everyone. Come to the fingertips, long spine. That creates your space. Right foot takes a giant step back. Same leg that you just stepped with. Plant your palms. Left foot joins plank position. You can just hold plank, or you can meet me in a chaturanga in any way you'd like to take it this morning. Your knees can be down. Drag your chest to an up dog. Press actively through the tops of the feet so your shoulders can broaden as well. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Look forward with your eyes, land your left foot, just take a really big step. Come to your fingertips. Yeah, everyone looks very serious in their little boxes. Right foot forward to meet the left. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart center. Drop your arms. So move with confidence, but with ease in your body. Arms stretch up, look up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Plant your palms. Left foot takes a pretty generous step back. It's like a plank. Plant your palms. Slide your right foot back to meet plank position. Pause in plank. Decide what you need today. Bend your elbows in half if you're going there. Pull your chest through an up dog. Anchor the tops of the feet. Eventually your thighs will lift. From your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Look where you want to go. Take 2 big steps to get there, or you can hop your feet to your hands. It's up to you. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Root to rise again. Stretch up big. Drag your hands to prayer. So keep moving just like this. Arms reach up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Plant your palms. You can take 2 big steps to get you back, or float. But if you're going to float, you must land with bent elbows, chaturanga. Pull yourself through a clean up dog. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Allow yourself to just become the practice right here, the best that you can. Press through your hands. Look where you want to go. Step or float. Feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, stretch all the way up. Hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms, keep moving, arms up, reach big. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step or float, however you choose, plank or right to a chaturanga. Upward facing dog, move slow. Hips up and back. Downward facing dog is where we meet. Good. Roll forward to a plank position right here with excitement. Hug your right knee in towards your navel and point your toes. So kind of like how you were on your back, that like scooping out of your core. Draw it a little closer, a little tighter. And then step your right foot all the way forward. So a nice big step. Be on your fingertips. Let's go ahead and drop the knee today for a second, but keep the toes curled into the mat. And let's kind of work at our alignment. Make sure that your right foot is over enough so it's underneath your right hip. So your right foot and your left knee are about hips width distance, and you're on your fingertips here. This is great, especially on a cold morning, to release the psoas right here. Pull your chest through your body like a little up dog and just look forward. So notice when you arrive into the postures, do you become impatient? Are you looking for the next thing immediately? Just begin to feel what the body kind of craves or needs here. So lifting the core muscles up, stabilizing the abdominal wall, reach your arms back like a set of airplane wings. So you kind of need to pull your core in so your stomach isn't just dropping down onto the thigh. And then focus on your right foot. Press the heel firmly into the mat. Grip the right hip underneath you and breathe through the upper shoulder blades, like you're kind of hugging the shoulder blades up off the back a little. Look forward so your neck is neutral and just be here for another breath or two. Firm up the sides of the triceps, like make your arms active. Good. From your waist, sweep your arms straight up, modified lunge. So get pretty heavy in your hips here. So you're kind of lunging into that front thigh, but not too much all the way into your knee. Your back leg is on a strong angle. The sides of your body are elevated. Your arms are energized. Your gaze moves up. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Keep your right leg exactly where it is. Activate your back leg. Pause. Arms reach back again like a set of airplane wings. Yeah. Pause right here. Steer your right hip back. If this is not working out for you today, you just drop your back knee. Breathe right here. Steer the right hip back. Activate your back leg. And then right here, sweep your arms straight up, crescent lunge. Fire up your left thigh bone and your hamstring. Sit deeper into your right front thigh and see if you can get your hip points to lift as your arms reach up a little higher. Dig your right heel into the floor. Squeeze your inner and outer thighs together. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Stay with this, guys. Right foot's gonna stay where it is. Left foot's gonna turn on a strong angle, just like this. So you're setting your feet up for warrior one, but don't come up. Back leg is strong. Left toes turn forward enough that your thigh bone can go with you. Steer your right hip back. Stay low to the ground. Sweep your arms back like airplane wings. Give your arms a lot of energy. Today, clasp your hands. It's almost like you're in a humble warrior. So you're gonna pause here. Your stomach is kind of hovering over the front of the right thigh. Your hands are clasped. Steer the right hip back. Keep steering the left thigh forward and the sides of the body long. If having your arms straight doesn't feel good, create a little micro bend in your elbows. Plug the feet into the mat. Hover over your right thigh about an inch or two. Look forward with your eyes. Press pretty firmly through your feet. And as you begin to bring your torso up, first bring the chest up with the hands clasped. Yes. See if you can lunge into the front thigh a little more. I actually have to slide my right foot a little bit more forward. My torso lifts and I'm steering my chest towards the front skinny edge of the mat. Sweep your arms out and up. Bring your hands to a prayer, kind of off the front of your forehead. Your arms kind of gather together. 3 breaths right here. Focus on something that's not moving. Press firmly through your feet. Lift your waist. Fire up the sides of your arms. Hands to the floor, Chaturanga Dandasana, or you just step right back to a downward facing dog. Upward facing dog should feel pretty good. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank position. I'm getting some crazy sun in here. It looked like the bottom of my screen was on fire. Yeah, hug your left knee in towards your chest in plank position. See if I can fix it. Yeah, much better. As you continue to hug that knee in towards your chest, scoop out your belly. Yeah. Look forward with your eyes, land your left foot forward. Pause. Work out the distance with your left foot, then drop your knee. Keep the toes curled into the mat. You're gonna stay low. So now knowing that you're gonna have this foot like this for a few moments, make sure it's set the way you want. Pull your chest forward and just be here for a second. Back thighs on a strong angle. You can always pat underneath your knee if that's kind of not feeling so hot. Now, stabilize the abdominal wall. You got to draw the belly in and hug the outer left hip under you. Reach your arms back, palms face down. Give your arms a lot of energy. They're there to help you. Squeeze into the center line of your body. Steer the left thigh, the hip under you, engage your core, and then sweep your arms straight up, supported lunge. Get heavy in the front hip so you can really kind of drop down and begin to open up the front line. So for those of us that are on our feet a lot or sitting, or basically just living life, this is a great thing to do if you just need like a moment to open up your front line, breathe. You all go back to, whenever you all go back into like the office, you drop down and people are like, what are you doing? Well, this is what I've been doing at home for the past 9 months. Opening my front line. Everyone's gonna think we're crazy. Focus on that front leg a lot, okay? Hands come down to frame your front foot. Just all you're gonna do is fire up the back leg now. Squeeze all the muscles around that back thigh and kneecap. Really dig the left heel. Arms are gonna sweep back again. You're hovering. It's a lot of leg strength, a lot of core strength. Dig the left heel into the mat. Grow the pose of the back leg. Sweep the arms straight up and forward, crescent lunge. So your belly draws in, your waist lifts, and you kind of reach with your arms. Mount your feet, and then fix your eyes on something that's not moving if you can. Another breath, stay with it. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Pause, left foot's gonna stay exactly where it is. Turn your back foot in on an angle. I need to step my foot in about 2 inches. Back foot strong. Squeeze that outer hip. Come to your fingertips again. Keep sitting into your front thigh. Reach your arms back. Fire up your arms a lot. Then clasp your hands. If you could remember the grip, go opposite. Little bend if your shoulders don't feel great. Steer the left hip back. Fire up the right side of the body. Press firm. So left hip back, right ribs forward. Just hovering. Kind of that sweet spot. You're hovering over the front of the thigh. Keeping your hands bound, press firm through your feet, start to pull your torso up with your hands clasped. When I get up here, slide the left foot a little bit more forward so you can lunge a little deeper into that front thigh. Puff the chest open, look up with your eyes. Mount your feet into the mat and then open up your arms, sweep the energy out and up. And if you can, bring the hands to prayer, kind of off the front of the forehead. Wrap the sides of the triceps in, press the hands firm. And ground yourself here. Hands to the floor, plank position, or just right to a dog. You move through a vinyasa if that feels appropriate to you and your practice. Upward facing should feel good. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let it go. Look where you want to go. Step or float feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Sit into a chair pose, weight moves into your heels. Yeah. Moving the energy of your waist up, your arms up. Press all the way up to a standing position. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Here we go, guys. Slide the arms straight up towards the sky. Sit deep into a chair. Yeah, sit really deep into a chair because you're gonna get your butt all the way to the floor. It's gonna look like this. Yes, so it's an amended boat pose. So anchor your feet, take your feet a little wider here. Slide your arms forward. Anchor your feet and start to lower your back down like it was before. So you're gonna hover into that amended kind of supported core exercise. Feet grounded, arms reaching forward. Pause. Lift the shoulder blades. Draw the lower back in. Lift the legs on an angle. Lower the feet back down. Lift up higher. Keep lifting up higher. See, you may need to use your hands to pull yourself all the way back up. Not so easy. Core strength. Arms reach forward. Cross the ankles. Step or float through a vinyasa. It's kind of like an amended boat pose. Upward facing dog. Hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Right foot lands, back foot on a strong angle, warrior one. If you prefer crescent, you take that. Hands to the floor, vinyasa or skip. Upward facing pulls you through. Downward facing presses you back. Left foot forward, back foot on an angle, warrior one. Hands come down. Plank, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, fire up your thighs, point through your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let it go. Look where you want to go. Step or float, feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Sit again into a chair. So you're going to sit so much that you land in a boat pose, okay? So the boat pose is going to look like this. The arms are reaching forward, the legs are bent today. Flex your toes, lift your upper torso, spread your collarbone. Draw the core in. You can also have your hands down if you prefer. Cross opposite ankle, plant the palms, step or float through a vinyasa. It's up to you. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward, back foot on an angle, warrior one. Hands come down. Right to a dog is totally cool, or you can take that push up. Be okay with just going to down dog too. Left foot forward, back foot on an angle, warrior one. Everyone looks very happy. Haha. Hands come down, vinyasa or not. Upward facing dog. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Leave it behind. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Press through your hands, look where you want to land, step or float, feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale breath. Keep the weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair, weight moves into your heels. Yeah, like really sit. So drop your butt down and back. Move the energy into your heels, let your shins slide back. Lower your seat all the way down. See if you can slide right into that boat Navasana. Lift your chest, spread your collarbone. Drive your thighs. See, my legs are bent. Drive them closer towards your belly. Lift a little higher. Cross the ankles. Slide the hands out in front of you. Step or float through a vinyasa. It's up to you. It may not be so graceful, and that's okay. Upward facing dog. We're not on Broadway here. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward, back foot on an angle. Warrior one. Hands come down through a vinyasa or not. Upward facing, point. Downward facing back. Left foot lands, back foot on an angle. Warrior one. Hands come down to the floor. You can step right back to your dog. Do whatever you need to do here. Meet me in that downward facing dog and hold. Deep breath in through your nose. Deep breath out. So hopefully a little warmer than we first started. Breathe your hips up off your shoulders. Look where you want to land. Step or float your feet to your hands. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair, weight moves into your heels. I know, they never get old. Yes. Drag your hands to a prayer at heart and pray for yourself. Inhale the breath. Hook the elbow and turn towards the right. So as you hook your elbow, just be really mindful that your whole left side of your body isn't turning with you. Your feet, your shins, and your knees all stay lined up. Yeah, the weight stays in your heels. Your spine is moving straight forward. Crown of the head is forward. Open up your arms if you want a little bit more, or just stay as you are. More breath to kind of encourage the feeling, whatever you're feeling here. Stay strong in those legs, guys. Pull back around to a chair. Recommit. It's just a feeling, it will go away. Really fire up your arms. Drop down a little deeper. Press all the way up to a standing position, but keep your arms straight up. Pause. Get the lift of the lower belly. Stand on your left leg now and just draw your right knee in and up. 90-degree angle. That's it. Just do this much. Flex the foot firmly and just work on really gripping your outer hips in, firing up that standing left thigh. Good, if you can reach down and grab your big toe, and this is successful, do that. If it's grabbing the front of your right shin, knee area, this is fine. So find something that works. If you're gonna grab your big toe, hinge the leg forward. Draw the right shoulder back into the socket, stand up a little taller. And then fix your eyes. Soften the right shoulder. Even if the leg is bent, you can do all these things. Lengthen a little bit more through your standing left leg. Keep the leg forward or the knee bent in half. Switch the grip. Revolved version of this, dancing Shiva. Reach back with your right arm. So the leg is either going straight forward or the front leg is bent in a 90-degree angle. Let the crown of the head really extend up and the energy move from the base of your left heel through the crown of your head. Twist from above the belly button. Lengthen the right arm back. Keep the lift of the right leg. Just move your arms forward. Reach both arms up and lift the leg. So keep lifting that inner thigh and lift a little higher. Lift a little higher. Keep reaching the arms up. Lower the right foot down. Pause. Arms are up nice and high. Sit deep into that chair. Ground yourself. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale that breath. Hook the elbow and twist other direction. Look down and make sure your alignment is set up and it's okay for you. So most of us like to take our whole body and kind of turn it, right? So I'd rather you go less into the pose. Looks really good. Nice. So no angry yoga, just breathe into whatever you're feeling. Twist from above the belly button and look up with your eyes. Spread your chest, spread your collarbone, stay with it, nice, Sarah. Keep squeezing the inner thighs. Keep the weight strong in your legs, especially your heels. Pull around to a chair. Recommit to the feeling, the sensation. Really fire up the sides of your arms. Draw your navel in. Press up firm with your legs and pause. Keep reaching up. Go straight up towards the ceiling with your arms. Breathe right here. Lengthen. Ground your right leg. Draw the left leg in. Just lift it up to a 90-degree angle. So this is hard as heck if you just focus right here. Keep reaching the right arm up. Don't let it drop. Slide the left hand down. Grab your big toe if that's available to you or below the kneecap. Either way works great. Pick something that you know you can hold. And if you're going to extend the leg forward, do that. Draw the shoulder, though, back into the socket. And then for me, it's hard. You soften that left hip. Draw the waist up, get out of the lower back, lengthen to the right side. Keep looking forward. And expect to waver, maybe even fall out. Keep the leg moving forward, straight forward or bent in half. Switch the grip, the best that you can. Soften that left hip, and if you fall out, you just join us again. Stand up nice and tall. Reach back with that back arm. Wherever you are is fine. Nice, Kathy. Keep the lift of the leg. Just move the eyes forward. Leg up, arms up. Lift a little higher. You got this. Keep lifting those arms. Lower that left foot down. Hands to prayer. Drop your arms and just stand still. Just stand still for a moment. You're going to need a block or something that looks like a block. So have them at the top of your mat here because you could use them. Your arms are going to reach back like a set of airplane wings. You're going to focus strongly on your right leg right now and move all the energy into the standing right leg. The left leg is going to be like a pendulum. It's going to be very light. My weight is on my right side. My left foot is kind of skimming the mat. Arms reach back. I'm going to move and tip slowly into warrior three. Bend a little behind the right knee as you do this. Lift the torso, lift the chest, square off the hips for a moment. Press firm into the standing right leg. Grip your right hip underneath you. Start to look down. Focus on that right leg, but begin to turn your left hip open. Right hand's gonna come directly down to the floor or block, opening into half moon, nice and slow. Half moon pose, focusing on keeping your right foot forward, your right hip hugging in, and your left arm extending up or your hand on your hip. Lift from your inner thigh, then look up with your eyes. So if you fall to the pose, you get back in, but do it slowly. So if you just expect to go right back in where you left off, you may find yourself in a little bit of a struggle. Still in half moon, guys, work it out. Focusing on that standing right leg and keeping that hip hugging in nice and tight. Look down with your eyes. You're gonna take a giant step back to warrior two. Warrior two, guys. We haven't been here yet today. Warrior two. Take a second to arrange your feet. Make sure your right foot isn't all over the place. Your heel to heel or heel to arch. Your back toes are turned on a strong angle. And your arms are running a lot of energy through your body. Turn up the inner part of your right thigh to the outside of the right baby toe. Lengthen your tailbone down and reach across your body. Close your eyes and hold here. Make your breath a little more powerful, a little bit more audible to you, so you can begin to feel a little more. Sit a little deeper. Reach out with your right hand. You're going to use a block here if you like. Outside of the foot is where we're going to go. Yep, place it any direction that works for you. Left arm up. Arm can also rest nicely on the top of the thigh if you're looking for another alternative. Yeah. So normally when I go to A variation, I encourage you to wrap your arm forward. But for the sake of today's practice, if you like, you can wrap your arm around and take a half bind. It may feel really good to do that. So reach for the inner part of the thigh. And if that's unavailable, just keep reaching up with the top arm. Yeah, so I'm nice and light in my right hand. I'm not dumping all the weight into the shoulder. I'm gripping the right hip underneath and turning the ribs and looking off the left shoulder towards the sky. Stay with the breath. Strong left leg. So you want to almost feel like your throat is opening. Nice, Debs. A few more breaths. So we're not bouncing out of the pose. We're going to transition right to triangle pose. So what I want you to do is either keep your hand on a block and keep the half bind, or you can release the arm up towards the sky. You're going to slide your right leg straight and maybe grab the front of your shin. So you kind of lift up out of your waist. So if keeping your hand on the block feels better, you may need to turn it up a little higher. I like the hand on the shin and I'm still in the half bind. If that's too much, you release the arm up towards the sky and you take regular triangle. If you feel you need to scoot your feet in a little, you can do that as well. Keep turning your bottom ribs. Soften behind your right knee a little. Then get out of that right shoulder. Look off the left shoulder up towards the sky. Stay here. Quiet your mind, use your breath. If your arm is still wrapped around you, release it straight up and down towards the sky. Regular trico. Let the blood run to the fingertips. Let the side body elevate you, press through your feet. 2 more strong breaths. Look down with your eyes. You're going to circle your hands to the floor and step to a plank and pause. Pause and plank. You're just loving me today, right? Plank position. Drop to your forearms nice and slow for forearm plank. Yes, this is happening. Forearm plank. Keep your right forearm forward, or you may need to turn it on an angle. Forearm side plank. You can drop your knee down too. So play with this, guys. Your arm can be a little bit turned in, or it can be straight forward. It's up to you. You can also drop your knee or stagger your feet. Reach up with your left arm, then look up with your eyes. Lift from your bottom hip. Look down with your eyes. Forearm plank, really slow. Forearm plank, really slow. While we're here, lean onto the left arm. Do the same thing on the left side. Play with the splay of your left arm. See what works for you. Move slowly so you can feel. Slide the right arm up, spark up your toes, lift from your bottom hip. Draw your core muscles in. The transition is slow. First look down, then bring your right forearm down, then square your hips, forearm plank. One palm at a time, plank position. Hips up and back, downward facing dog, let it go. If you feel you need to move through vinyasa, please take it now. If not, look at the top of the mat, lightly step or float your feet there. Long spine on the inhale, exhale, fold, root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms, just stand tall. If you use blocks, just move them to the top of your mat. It's always good to have them. Your arms are gonna drop by your side body like a set of airplane wings. You're gonna focus strongly on your left leg and really keeping that foot forward. It's so hard. Now move all the weight into that left leg and just float your right foot an inch up off the ground. Now with that control and the chest staying really open, bend a little into your left knee and start to slide into warrior three very slow. This is why I said to have blocks or something nearby, because sometimes our balance is kind of crummy. So you just reach for blocks if it's not great. Focus on that standing left foot, staying forward, your outer hip gripping in. Now from here, start to turn your right toes and your right hip open. Reach for a block underneath your left shoulder and then slide your right arm up into half moon. Nice and easy. Lift from your inner thigh, find the extension from your waist. Let the crown of the head extend forward, spark up your right toes. And you could fall 700 times in this. It doesn't matter, it's just a posture. Make sure your block is off the left baby toe enough that your shoulder and your waist is set up properly. Lift from your inner thigh. Draw the core muscles in, hang with it. Two more breaths. Focus on that standing left foot. Keep it forward, grip your outer hip in, look down. Lightly take a giant step back, warrior two. Warrior two. Yeah, and if it doesn't work out great, you reset if you need to. Make sure it's a pretty big step. Lengthen the tailbone, energetically reach your arms in opposite directions. Get out of your own head here. It's just a posture. Sit a little deeper, express the arms nice and open. Make sure the torso isn't turning. Yeah, so get that torso straight up and down, yeah. Lengthen the tailbone and sit. Close your eyes, 5 breaths. Turn up the inner part of your left thigh. Yeah, grip your left hip underneath you. Anchor your right leg more. Now reach out with your left arm. You may choose just to rest your arm on your thigh today, that's fine. Or go to the outer part of your foot. Take the block any direction. You can even take 2 blocks. Slide the right arm straight up to start. Turn your bottom ribs. If you notice your whole torso kind of dropping down, slide something higher underneath the hand to give yourself the opportunity to really experience the pose. Grip the hip underneath you. So as I said, I normally encourage the right arm to wrap forward, and of course you can continue to do that. Or for today's practice, take the top arm, wrap it around and see if you can give yourself a little shoulder opener. Look off the right shoulder towards the sky. Something about when you have your hand on the outer part of the foot for this A variation and taking the half bind, You really can get the throat and the chest to open, which is wonderful. Stay with this. Grip the left hip underneath you and keep pressing the outer left thigh into the left arm. Note if you starts to like clench your toes, spread your feet a little wider. A few more breaths. So remember the transition, we're gonna move slow. If you like to keep the half bind and include it in triangle, just keep your hand there. You begin to straighten out your left leg. You can slide the block back with you and place it up high, or just go like I did and slide the hand to the front of the shin. So just creating more space. If you need to scoot your back foot in for a tighter positioning of your feet, go ahead. We're in triangle pose. Same sensation in the upper collarbone and chest, lift to the side body. Press actively through your feet. And then breathe. Lighten the load of your left hand so all the shoulder weight isn't dumping into it. Really nice. Keep the left hand where it is, either on shin or block. Just unravel the arm if you took the half bind. Breathe into the whole torso. Look down, place both hands to the floor, plank position, please. Plank position. Slow chaturanga, bend your elbows in half. Pull yourself through a pretty nice opening of the up dog, press to the tops of the feet. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Land your right foot forward into a crescent lunge. You're welcome to drop your knee if you need to here. So do what works. Slide the arms straight up. Crescent lunge, we were here early in the practice. Bring your hands to a prayer at heart center. Lean out in front of you, hook the elbow and twist. Grip your outer hip in, and the same thing goes here. If you feel like all your weight is dumping down into the front of the thigh, lift up a little, back out of the pose. Lean back into the posture, hug the outer hips in. Try not to look back. It kind of has a tendency of rounding our spine. So you can look to the right or maybe look up. Use that outer elbow to kind of press and hug the right thigh under you. Activate your back leg. Squeeze the hip a little tighter and twist open. Couple more breaths. Look down, place both hands to the floor and pause. So we started the practice somewhat like this. So we're gonna take this block, move it out in front of you, slide it off the front edge of your mat. So it's gonna come out, we're moving into revolved Ardha. Right hand's gonna come to the flat part of your back. You're gonna press into the standing right leg and then see if you can drift your left leg up. So play with where you think this block needs to be underneath your shoulder. Your hand may just stay on the back of your back. This is fine, but continue to kind of steer your right hip back and lift your inner left thigh up. And then lengthen from your tailbone to the crown of the head and look up. And then if you can, lift your right arm up. This may not work out for all of us. Lift from your inner thigh and hold here. Hang with it. Twist a little bit more. Look down, right hand to the floor, pause. Left leg back, low lunge. Plant your palms firm. Hug your right leg in and think of a floating, kind of floating pigeon. So take your right leg out on an angle and hug your right leg in, kind of a floating pigeon. Grip your outer arms in. Slide the right leg up and back to a three-legged down dog. Straighten your leg and flex the foot. Draw the left hip back. Lift from the inner thigh, flex the foot a lot. Breathe into the sides of your body, look forward, land your right knee forward, half pigeon, thank gosh. Half pigeon pose. Go for it now. Melt into it. If something is going on here that's not working, you can go onto your back and take ankle to knee. Let yourself just kind of melt into the pose. Spin the left thigh down to the mat to get the top of the left foot flat to the floor. Drop down a little deeper. You're still in the pose, Kathy. I know it's really exciting. Okay, we're gonna get out the same we went in, which just creates a whole other level of excitement. So plant the palms, curl the back toes, and think floating half pigeon. So it's like this, float the leg. See if you can move your shin a little bit more so it's kind of crisscrossing the front of the left forearm. Slide the right leg back, downward facing dog. Enough of that. Look forward, glide your left foot forward, crescent lunge. Last little bit of effort, guys, hang with it. Crescent lunge, left side. It'll be over. You'll be eating those pancakes. They're probably gone now. Hands to prayer. Inhale the breath, lean forward a little, hook the elbow and twist. Remember, there's a lift of the torso, so you're not just dumping all your weight down. Kate, I can't see your back leg, but make sure that back leg is long enough. I have a feeling that you need a longer stance. And rather than looking back, look sideways or look up. Scissor the outer hips in, activate your back leg, grow the pose a little bit more. Open up your arms if you want a little bit more. Last little bit. Breathe. Look down with your eyes. You're like, thank gosh. Plant the palms to the hands to the floor. Pause here. Reach for the block. I personally like it on its highest setting. Take the whole hand on the block. Take your left hand on the flat part of your back. You're kind of in this low position. Grip the hip underneath you and then float the back leg up. Setting up for revolved Ardha. Taking steps to get into the pose. Hand on the lower flat part of the back is going to give you a good idea like what's happening. Top arm can extend up only if you have that opening in your chest. Lift from the inner thigh, lengthen the waist, and twist. Hug the left hip underneath you. Lift a little higher with your back leg. Twist a little bit more. Look down, place both hands to the floor. Take a giant step back into a low lunge. Pause. Don't get sloppy here. Plant the palms. Set up the sides of the triceps and make like a half pigeon with your left leg. Let it hover. Yeah. There's a rounding of your spine happening. Press into the mat. Draw the left leg up and back, three-legged down dog. Don't open the hips. Press firm through the back leg, both legs. Look forward with your eyes. Land your left knee forward, half pigeon. Slide right into it. When you get close to the end of the practice, you know, you like feel that energy. You're like, I'm so close. Let yourself just melt into it. Just checking in, turn your right thigh down and make sure the top of your right foot is resting on the ground. And then melt deeper. Begin to use the strength of your body to press yourself up. One more time today to get out of the pose the same way you went in. Firm up the sides of the arms, activate your back leg. Last little bit here. Hug the leg in, but make sure that the front shin is kind of on an angle, like it's going to cross through the front of your right tricep or forearm, actually. Slide it back, plank position. Here we go. Bend your elbows in half, chaturanga. Pull yourself through an up dog. Breathe your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Look where you want to go. You can hop, skip, jump, float, fly, crawl, just sit down. When you get to the floor, we're setting up for a few back bends before we send ourselves out into the cold. Bend your legs in half. Fingertips skim the backs of your heels. So we were kind of here before. Lengthen your tailbone up. Give yourself enough space to see if you can clasp your hands and shimmy your shoulders underneath. Wrap the thighs under. So let's take it this way first, and then if we opt for the supported shoulder stand or the supported bridge, that is fine. Anchor your feet into the mat. Breathe space from the tailbone to the backs of your knees. Good. Little wider, Dara, with your feet, if that's okay for the back. Good. Exhale the breath, come out. When you lower yourself down slow, 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 and then you'll reset. Now, if this is where you want to stay, or you want to shove a block underneath or flip your palms over your shoulders, those are the options for today. So going full wheel, flip your palms, bring your chin to your chest, take a giant breath in, and on that exhale breath, you'll lift up. If you're just opting for a second set of bridge pose, clasp hands, or supported. Steer your feet forward, guys. Wrap the thighs in. Nice work. Good. So rather than feeling like you're lifting with your butt, feel like you can breathe space from the lower tailbone to the backs of the knees. Tuck your chin. When you're ready, exhale your breath, come out. Take a big breath in. Take a big breath out. One more for good luck. Here we go. Flip the palms, chin to chest. Sometimes the final one is your best one. If you reach for a block, that's fine. Place it somewhere that's comfortable. Yeah, like nodding your butt crack. Inhale the breath. Exhale, lift yourself up. Come on up. Lift yourself up off the ground. Wherever you're going today is right where you need to be. Just make sure your feet aren't as wide as the mat. They're about hips width distance. Lift a little higher. Nice work. Exhale the breath. Come out with control. When you lower yourself down, remove the block out from underneath you and slowly lower the tailbone down to the ground. And like we started the practice, take the feet to the width of the mat and let your knees knock in. And just neutralize the pelvis. And then keeping your feet the width of the mat today, just stand the knees straight up and down. So you've got this wide position with your feet. Drop your knees over to the right, so it's going to look like this. So over to the right for a supine twist, but the legs are kind of split apart. Your bottom right foot is going to lift up onto the outer part of your left thigh for like a little ankle to knee. Cactus your arms and keep your lower back down on the ground. So my right foot is over the top of my left thigh, and I'm giving myself a little twist and a little hip opener. Pull up to center, take your feet the width of the mat. If you missed it, let's try this side. My feet stay wide, my knees drop to the left. So my left leg is higher than my right. My left ankle then crosses over my right thigh, but both legs are pretty much down on the ground. My shoulders cactus, and I keep my torso flat to the floor. Come up to center, release the feet. Hug the knees tightly in towards the chest. Give yourself like a ball, like you're wrapping into a ball. Don't worry, we're not going to do any more core. Set yourself up for Shavasana, complete rest. If you have blocks, slide them underneath your legs. If you have a bolster or a pillow or a blanket, set yourself up in a comfortable pose here. For the next 2 minutes, just be still. Let go of your Ujjayi breath and just be with yourself. Close your eyes and melt. Take a very full breath in through your nose. At the top of the breath, see if you can hold the breath for a second. And then slowly open your mouth and exhale out loud. And if you prefer to stay down and just kind of enjoy this time, just do that. If you need to come back to the world, bring your arms up over the top of the head, stretch big. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Like as you move and you come out of this practice back into reality, it's a shame, I know. Move slowly. Rock up to a seated position or however you're comfortable. Sit up tall. There should be some shift, some energy shift, some mood shift, some different feeling in your body. Something has happened. You put a lot of work into this practice. Maybe your breath has changed. Hopefully our moods are better. Bring our hands to prayer. Bow your head. Have some awesome gratitude for this kick butt class this morning. Lift your head, open your eyes. Grateful for you all. Namaste. Thanks for joining me as usual. Catch you soon. Don't eat too much candy. Ha ha.